All right, guys, so it seems like I've got a lot of people asking me about what the burner looks like. I had one guy actually want to see it in action, so I've cut this panel out right here so you can actually see what the fire's doing. Now this one right here, you can just see it comes through, and I put a 90 on it. I mired it with a 90. Comes down to the burn bowl. Nothing fancy, burn bowl. It's just a Freon tank, cut in half basically. Laying on top of some calipers just to get some height. Now usually I would do this, and this pipe right here would come down into the bowl like by an inch, but on this one I actually had a bowl underneath the bowl, popping it up. So I'm going to actually see what it does right now with just like that, and kind of give you an idea. And I may add on to that pipe where I don't have to use two bowls to get it up to the height. Or even right now, actually what I could do is I could raise this bowl up like right to there, put some spacers under there in this. But you know, obviously you want this bowl, okay, somewhere above, you know, your door opening. You want a couple inches above your door opening, up in your door, so the smoke doesn't come out. That's one of the unique things about this. So yeah, I mean, there's two ways to burn oil. You can atomize it like on an oil burner, actual oil burner, where it throws it into a mist and then it's got an igniter. Or in this case, you preheat the oil and then you get the oil so hot it just combusts as it drips down in. So that's actually what's happening on this one. So we're getting the heat, we're getting the oil preheated where it's hot, and then as the oil drips in, it catches on fire. So there's no compressor that you have to use. This is actually a fan. This is actually a unit I've actually showed you before. So this fan right here comes on top of a hot water heater. So that's why I say when you buy a hot water heater, you get both the tank and this fan, and you can see, you know, where it's hooked up. It's actually got a spot around 2 inch, and then you always want a valve. And then this pipe, I would suggest making it out of galvanized, because these do get wore out. The heat will hit this pipe, you know, and obviously the smaller the pipe, the quicker it'll burn out, and you'll have to replace that eventually. So, but that'll take a couple years anyways. But yes, same basic design. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. So in the burn bowl, I'm going to add some kerosene. And I'm still working on like a product that, like mineral spirits, or I usually add just a little bit of gasoline just because it ignites, and I know a lot of people are scared of that, and I can't really blame them for that. But it does ignite, so I just put that in there. There's no oil in there right now, residual oil, so I'm gonna light the tank, the burn bowl. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some oil to the unit. Which right there is water, because I had water in my oil, which I've separated out. So I've got a little water going in there. It'll have to evaporate. It's probably not gonna be happy with it, but it'll get over it. Okay. So that's just without any turbo air. Okay. It's causing a, wow, okay. This is causing an effect like that. Got my stack going out. So no turbo air yet. So I'm gonna let that oil preheat. It's going in there, okay? No damage there. I'm gonna grab my extension cord. Okay, extension cord. And on this particular fan, I don't have a switch on it, but I would add a switch. So I'm gonna have to show you, try to get you caught up here, what happens when the turbo fan comes on. Okay, actually I don't have the valve open, so let me open the valve. All right, so I've got just a little bit of air going right now. Okay, and you can see where the door was before. The smoke is kind of above that, but I want you guys to see the All right, so I'm gonna open this all the air all the way. Now, what it takes, you can actually hear the roar. So on the pre-start, it's trying to burn off that oil. It's going right in my garage. Let me close my garage door. Gosh, it's not cool. So once the oil gets hot, you get rid of the smoke. Now, so that's actually what it's doing, and that's with the tube way up there. So really, that's fine too. You can see the smoke coming off the turbo tube. Now, my fire's about to go out because my oil's wet. This oil that I had actually had a lot of water in it, so I may have to restart this, but that's okay. So I've opened up the oil, trying to get this to stay lit. And you can see it almost, the oil is almost atomizing just from the blow tube. Look at that. So my oil finally hit. It's got a lot of water in it, so let's just see what happens here. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, it actually went out because I've still got water in the oil. I've had a kind of a bad batch of oil I got from this one auto mechanics shop, and I don't know what it's got in it, but it's crappy stuff. And so let me get some decent oil in there, and I will get you a replay on that. Okay guys, back at it. I've changed the oil. Got some good oil in there now, straight up oil in the tank. I've actually redone that drain while I had it open. And this time I wiped up some of the oil out of that oil tank that was at the bottom. Just clean it up, and I stuck the rags in there. So some people don't like gas, so you could do this too. You could use rags, you can use cardboard, you can use anything you want. I'm gonna throw some diesel fuel in there. I'll cut the rags. Okay, just to get it started. All right, so we got nothing going on, no air, no oil dripping, just oily socks and some kerosene. Okay, no big deal. All right, now I'm gonna add a little oil. Oops. I got the fan on the foot switch, so I can turn it off and on, kind of show you what's going on. All right, so I'm gonna add a little oil, a little bit. You can see, huh? There's still water in there. Should be starting to get good stuff. Okay, right there. Okay. Now I've got my fire going, and you'll see the oil start to drip out here shortly. Takes a little while. Okay, it's starting to drip right there. I should get a steady stream here shortly. I had to fill my trap up because I emptied my trap out, so I blew it out. So no big deal. Still got a fire going. Let me just give it some more oil here so we can fill up the trap quicker. Okay, this should do it. And we should still be getting some oil now shortly. So right now all we got is oily socks, a rag, whatever, and some kerosene, and still not seeing any oil, so sorry about that. Fill that trap up. I should see some oil coming out here shortly. Close my garage door. Okay. So right now this is just Willie socks and still no freaking oil. Gosh, man. How deep is my trap? Alright, now I got oil coming out, see? Alright, so let's just let that heat up for a little while. Usually don't have to wait that long, 10-15 seconds. You gotta go all. But that's just oil dripping in it with some kerosene and some rags burning right now. Okay. So I'm gonna open up this fan a little bit, which right now it's not on, but I'm gonna open it up a little bit. You want to keep this closed because the heat comes back and gets into the motor if you don't have a gate valve on there. All right, so I've got a foot switch here. All right, so there's a little bit of air. And a little bit of oil. And you can see the oil actually, I never noticed this before, but kind of blows into a mist, which is actually good. The fan blows into a mist. So there's your turbo. And your valve's not all the way open. That's what's going on inside your tank. So we still got oil dripping in there. See the oil dripping? Oil drips through the blow tube. See it? Drips in the blow tube. Now, I've got a lot of oil in there right now. Looks like I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. And just burn out some of that oil. I've actually got a clear stream right now, which is kind of unusual, but so I can look down in the bowl and see I got a lot of oil down in there, which normally you don't. So you want to kind of keep that light when you're lighting, otherwise you get a lot of smoke up here. But right now I'm not. I don't know. Particularly, that's good. But yeah, I'm just burning oil in the burn bowl right now, trying to burn it down, and then we'll feed again. Take a little while to burn that off. Again, the problem having it that full usually is you get a lot of dark exhaust up here, but I don't know. It's liking whatever I'm doing right now, so. And honestly, I'm not even getting much smoke out of the front. A little bit. But that's what your turbo does. Now let me go ahead and increase this turbo all the way. Because you typically want to have full air, full turbo, because what you're doing is you're trying to get that really hot, and yeah, see then you're getting that. So just you know, kind of learn something right there. So if I slowed that air down, see the more air, the hotter the flame, and the more it tries to burn. And then it starts doing that, but even that will stop eventually and burn the air down a little bit. So you just kind of have to find what works for you. Every tank's a little bit different. All right, so I've throttled the air down. I've still got that going on. You can see the blow tube. That's not even down in the tank. So really, I mean, you don't even have to put the blow tube down the tank. What I'm seeing right there. Wow, that's okay. So that's a new version. Basically, you just don't want, when that blows down, you don't want the oil to blow out around your bowl. That's why you keep the blow tube down in the tank. But in this case, look how high it is. It's still blowing it down in the bowl, and it's not blowing it around the tank. You know, it's not swirling around the tank, because you start getting oil around your tank's gonna catch on fire. So here's let's clean it up a little bit. Obviously I'm out of diesel fuel right now, and my rags are burned up, so this is burning used oil right now, and I'm about 4 foot from it, and it's so freaking hot I can't even stand it. And you can see the mist. Look at the mist coming out of the blow tube, which is pretty cool. All right, so I'm I'm about out of oil. So now I'm gonna add some oil so I can keep my flame going. Otherwise, it will go out. And you can probably hear it hit when it hits. Like it just started hitting right there. Now that consistently should stay that way right there. That much oil going in it. Let's just see what happens. There's your oil kicking back in. Now that'll burn that way all day as long as you have oil. I'm actually even going to lower it a little bit more. There is a point where if you give it too little oil, it'll go out. It needs a certain amount of burn, you know, to keep everything temped up. And so in some cases this may be too much heat for you. And so you'd have to regulate by opening up a window or something. That's the only thing I haven't got down to, where it's just, you can see the oil dripping in there. It's dripping, seems to be dripping to the right. That's why it's blowing to the right, just the way its characteristics. So it's blowing into the right of the burn bowl. That's all there is to it, really. I mean, it's not like rocket science, right? So that white smoke coming out is a little bit of indication that you get close to running out of fuel. So that's probably about as low as you can go right there. You can see the oil dripping in. So it's building up a little bit of oil on the bottom, which is good. So it keeps that residual burn going. And now the question is, I think I'm all the way open, full. No, it wasn't actually. Wow. No, I wasn't. Man, I wasn't even all the way open. Which I think in this case, this is why you got to kind of figure out how much air you need, whatever. See that white smoke? Let's just throttle this back down. In this case, I actually almost get a better burn with less oil, with less air, I mean. So I've still got my oil going in. I don't usually get that much white smoke, so maybe a little bit different with the front off. With that front on, usually would act like I could go full air, and I would be burning everything up. It would be clear smoke coming out. So might be just a little bit different with the door cut out, which is just to show you guys what's happening. So there is quite a bit of oil building up in the bottom, which normally with your air all the way on, that wouldn't happen, but let's just see what happens here. Just add a little bit of oil. Yeah, see what's happening here? Yeah. That's why you got to go full blow. Let's go full blow. Add a little more air. Okay, now I'm full open. That sounds like that's gonna go out on me. So I've got just a little bit of flame. I've actually turned the oil off. Yeah, so all my tanks, for them to work, you have to have full air on. And it keeps that fire going. It creates so much heat that the oil drips in there. Yeah, so another experiment learned. So anyways, but this is your basic deal here. And so if I had that door on there, the rest of that metal covering most of that hole up, I'd be fine, because I've used this burner over and over again. So anyways, yeah. So yeah, same basic design, no big deal. Tank drain, oil, feed, and fan. Okay, well I started back up. I just put some diesel fuel in there, lit it, let it swirl for a little while, and then turned the fan to it. So the fan's on full, and I've got a little bit of oil dripping in it. Show you, I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. Once it gets, everything's like hot enough and the right mixtures, it just runs the whole time. And this is full air on right now. About 5 feet. So now it's picking up residual oil. So what's going to happen is it's going to go black for a little while because it's burning off a lot of oil, and then it'll clear. Watch, it'll clear. It'll start to clear. Whoa! Now it's 7 feet. Now I'm a little worried. My garage door is getting a little warm. Yeah, it's okay. Thank God the air is going the other way. Okay. See how it's clearing? And I mean, it's not too often that I don't get black smoke when I first start up, but it only lasts for about 20 seconds. But yeah, if you don't watch it, if you get too much oil in there, it'll stay black. So look, clear air. Look at my fire. So now it's pretty much on. It'll stay that way. Whew. So yeah, my garage door is not hot. Got it pretty close to my garage door here. So this is what you're looking for right here. Clear, hot. Show you my place here a little bit. And it should stay right there the whole time. I could throttle it down, but you know. I'm probably not even getting any smoke out the front. It's pretty wild. Well, I'm not really getting any smoke, but I probably could get some fumes out the front. Usually I'd have a door in there, or yeah, I'd have that covered up down to where the bowls cover it up. But anyways, yeah, so here's my dangerous fuel over here. If I want to move that, just to be safe. Just show you how much of the door I cut off so you have an idea also. What happened? Oh, I stepped on the fan. I've got a fan switch that is on the ground there. I stepped on the fan. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's how much of the door I cut off, or the opening. I cut up that much. So. Wow, what's going on here? Had to add a little oil just because I cut that fan off. It's got to have that residual burn to burn the incoming oil. So you see how I kicked it back up. But once you're happy with it, it's about how much oil I got going in right now. I'm gonna throttle it down just a little bit. About normal right there. Now if I don't shut that fan off again, you should be fine. Anyways, that's what it looks like. That's what all the noise is about. See ya. Bye.